So we're going to use this accumulation pattern to unpack a single nested list. And this is one of the few videos where I'm going to essentially demonstrate what's in the example that we provide in the lesson. So we have some mixed list, and I'm just going to put bat and then another list. So maybe a list of numbers, and then number, and then another word, dog, and maybe another nested list with arf 3 and 7. And let's go ahead and do this. Cool. So that is a mixed list. And we want an unpacked list. So what is this unpacked list supposed to look like? Let me just kind of give an indication of that. It should be bat, 8, 3, 8, 2, that should be a 2, etc. So this is where we should end up. For now, I'm going to go ahead and make this just the accumulator that is waiting for the values to be unpacked into it. All right, so I'm going to name this each. No, for element, for item in the mixed list. Now, the first thing we're going to do is check to see if the type of that item is a list. So that's easy. If the type of the item is a list, equals a list, then we can say for each item, right? So for each item, so item 2 in item, right? Because if the type of the item is a list, then we can iterate on it. We're going to put that into the unpacked list. So we're going to put item 2 into the unpacked list. So that's easy. And otherwise, right, else, we're going to, we can say unpacked list dot append the item itself. Now, why do we need an else in here? Right? I'll show why we need that in just a sec. And let's print this. Let's print the unpacked list and see what we have. Oh, VS Code, why? Why is your autofill so bad? Okay. And we do. We have a single, we have no nesting in this list. Now, what if we didn't use this else, right? What if we were like, oh, well, we're only checking, we're only going to do this for loop if it's this. Let's just see what happens. Now, if you notice what happened here, if we don't use an else here, we preserve the nested lists. So not only do we unpack them, but we preserve the originals, which we probably aren't going to want to do. That logic, maybe there's a use case for that logic. If you can think of a good use case for that, then put it in the comments. But otherwise, yeah, this is a way to unpack a singly nested list. Now, something you might want to think about is an approach to unpacking an n-nested list, right? And if you want to read about recursion, recursion would be one approach. So, just think about it. It's kind of an interesting problem. It's the kind of problem you might see on an interview, like in a coding interview. Not in our technical interview necessarily, but in a professional coding interview for Python.